Live from WTVO 17 and your home team, Eyewitness News at 5 starts now.
The names of the victims killed in a Rockford mass shooting over the weekend are released. Their families say they're still in shock. The daughter of one of the men killed in the attack says her father will never be forgotten, remembering Dennis Steinhoff tonight. And another deadly shooting this morning means 2020 breaks a record. Investigators work to find what led up to gunfire at a local gas station. Good evening, I'm Mimi Murphy. Erica is off tonight. As new details surrounding the deadly shooting at Don Carter Lanes over the weekend come out, the Rockford community continues to offer support and cope with a tragedy that hits close to home. Investigators say around 6:30 Saturday night, a gunman opened fire, killing 3 men. 2 teens and a 62-year-old man were also shot. Police arrested 37-year-old Duke Webb. The Special Forces sergeant from Florida faces 3 counts of first-degree murder and 3 counts of attempted first-degree murder. Winnebago County State's Attorney Jay Hanley named the deceased victims today. 73-year-old Dennis Steinhoff and 69-year-old Jerome Woodfork, both of Rockford, and 65-year-old Thomas Furseth of McChesney Park were all shot to death. Hanley says one man is in critical condition, suffering from multiple gunshot wounds. The other surviving victims, including a 14-year-old boy who was shot in the face and a 16-year-old girl shot in the shoulder, continue to recover. Hanley also revealed why the suspect was visiting Rockford.
One question that's arisen is, why was Mr. Webb in Rockford, Illinois? He was originally from Florida. He was here on leave visiting family.
One of those victims had dinner with his family before he went to Shooter's Bar and Grill, one of his favorite hangouts. Michelle Rave sat down with his daughter, who says he can't ever be replaced.
You can never replace a person. You can replace anything and everything else, but you can never replace a person that you love.
Dennis Steinhoff was at Don Carter Lanes on Saturday. He was one of 3 shot and killed.
He was the most loving, funny, selfless, giving, beyond man ever. He was there for everyone.
Regina Moschke says her father is a regular customer at the bar there, Shooters. He had just had dinner with her and the rest of the family.
So he came over and ate and hung out and left here at 5:15 at night.
Then she got a message.
My niece texted me around that time and said, "Where's Grandpa? Is Grandpa at OTB?" And I said, "Yeah, why?" And she's like, "Oh my God," she said, "there's been a mass shooting. It's all over Facebook." So I hurried up and called my dad, and he always answers, and he didn't answer. So I started getting a little anxious, and I called him 14 more times and nothing.
She got the news no one wants to hear.
I almost was in shock. I got out. I was starting to vomit. I couldn't breathe. Like, I started almost hyperventilating. I couldn't believe that he was in there gone and shot.
Regina describes him as a loving family man, a Vietnam War vet, and a cancer survivor.
My dad was my world. My whole life. He's my daddy. He is the most selfless, big-hearted, funny guy in the world.
Reporting in Rockford for your home team, I'm Michelle Rave.
Support pours in from the State Line community as multiple fundraising pages are established for the victims and their families. The owner of Don Carter Lane set up a GoFundMe page that has nearly $3,000 raised. The local bowling community created a separate crowdsourced fundraiser for the family of Jerome Woodfork. And Rockford's Miracle Mile set up a care fund at Illinois Bank and Trust, accepting donations at any drive-through. You can find links to all fundraisers on our website, mystateline.com. The alleged gunman, Duke Webb, appeared in court for the first time today. Alexis Carpella was there. She joins us now live in the studio. And Alexis, what details do you have from inside the courtroom?
Mimi, Webb was denied bail, but his lawyer isn't giving up on getting him out of jail. In court, she said the Green Beret suffers from PTSD and was set to seek medical treatment within the next couple weeks for a traumatic brain injury. He also suffers from memory loss, confusion, and anxiety. Elizabeth Bucko tells us the plan is to get Webb evaluated. Then after that, it will be up to the judge to make the decision if she will grant bond or not.
No, the Winnebago County Sheriff is well equipped to decide what unit he should be in and the care that's taken of him. Also, when he is evaluated for any medications, it'll be sure that he'll get those medications while he's in custody, but hopefully we can get him a bond and out of custody and treated.
The lawyer wouldn't give any details on that medication or what his official medical diagnosis was prior to the shooting. Mimi?
We'll continue to follow that, of course. Thanks, Alexis. Rockford police investigate another deadly shooting late this morning. It happened just before noon at the BP gas station on 11th Street and 18th Avenue. That's near Key Malquist Park. Investigators say one person died after being shot. Police have not said what led up to the gunfire or if any arrests have been made. The investigation is ongoing. Anyone with the information is urged to contact Rockford PD or Crime Stoppers. The man accused of starting a Christmas Day fire at the Forest City Tennis Club has bonded out. Jacob Wilson appeared in court Saturday. He's charged with criminal damage to property and criminal trespassing. It took fire crews 7 hours to put the flames out at the building near the old clock tower. They say that was because of cold temperatures and the size of the building. The building has since been demolished. No one was hurt. The center was vacant at the time. Wilson is due back in court February 4th. First responders in Boone County are mourning the loss of a K-9 officer killed by what police are calling a drunk driver. This happened around 1:30 Sunday morning. Boone County Sheriff's Deputy Robert Rosenkrantz was completing a traffic stop when his vehicle was hit with K-9 Loki inside. Investigators say Vincent Miller was behind the wheel. He's being held on $50,000 bond. Miller appeared in court this afternoon and is due back on the 8th. The Sheriff's Department is accepting donations directly. You can find a link to donate using the My State Line app. For many State Line families, this is the last week their Christmas tree will stay on display. When the time comes to take it down, there are a few ways to dispose of it. Keep Northern Illinois Beautiful's recycling trees January 1st through the 15th. Donated trees will be ground up and turned into mulch. The city of Rockford's also collecting trees during garbage pickup from January 4th to the 14th. All ornaments and wire must be removed, and trees over 4 feet tall should be cut in half. A Christmas surprise made one State Line nurse's holiday a little brighter. Kim Roberts works at Swedish American Hospital in Rockford. This is video sent to us showing her being surprised by her son Seth, who just graduated from boot camp. He wasn't expected home in time for Christmas, which explains her shocked reaction. Kim's co-workers had been in touch with Seth to plan the surprise. Other nurses stepped up to fill in for her so the pair could spend some quality time together. State of Illinois health officials confirm another 3,700 new cases of coronavirus. That brings the total number of cases to nearly 938,000. 104 people died, including 2 from the State Line region. Since the start of the pandemic, nearly 16,000 Illinoisans confirmed to have COVID have died. The state's positivity rate sits at 6.8%. Of those who contract the coronavirus, 98% recover. This evening, the House of Representatives plans to override President Trump's veto of the defense bill. Washington correspondent Rashad Hudson reports as he keeps you connected to the nation's capital.
The House interrupted its holiday break to return to Washington to vote on overriding the president's veto of the defense bill.
The National Defense Authorization Bill has been bipartisan, supported by Republicans and Democrats for decades.
California Congressman Josh Harder said the president's veto would damage the nation's military. The bill sets defense policy, includes pay raises for U.S. troops, equipment modernization, and more.
For one thing, there's a lot of measures in this defense bill to keep our military safe from COVID.
The NDAA passed both houses of Congress with enough votes to override a veto if Republican lawmakers decide to break with President Trump. The president said he vetoed the bill over a directive to rename military bases named for Confederate generals, and because the bill did not contain a provision to crack down on social media companies.
I understand some of the president's arguments, but I believe that supporting our military takes precedence here.
North Carolina Republican Congressman Greg Murphy said he was breaking with the president and voting to override.
My district is heavily, has a heavy military presence. I think it was very, very crucial.
I don't think any Republicans want to vote against pay raises for our nation's military, vote against veterans' health care.
The Republican majority Senate plans its override vote on the $740 billion bill later this week. In Washington, I'm Rashad Hudson.
Your first warned weather forecast with Chief Meteorologist Candice King.
By this time tomorrow, things are going to look a lot different as we've got some snow on the way, but also tomorrow late, we've got the potential for some sleet and even some freezing rain. No issues here as we go through the night tonight. We've got just a couple of clouds that'll roll in as high pressure continues to build in overhead. But keeping an eye on our next storm system developing off to the southwest. You can see the snow already building near east of the Rockies, working up through Nebraska and getting into Kansas, I should say, and then getting into Nebraska this evening. That snow field is going to expand over the next 12 to 18 hours, moving in for some as early as tomorrow afternoon. So in anticipation of that, we do have winter storm warnings and winter weather advisories that have been issued for all here of northern Illinois and southern Wisconsin. The counties in pink, the winter storm warning. Our counties in purple, including Lee, DeKalb, and McHenry counties, that winter weather advisory. Now, I don't want you to focus so much on the weather headlines, but rather the impact that this is going to have, most likely to late tomorrow afternoon for some, tomorrow evening, and potentially going into Wednesday morning. So let's break this down. We've got no problems for tonight, no problems for tomorrow. We'll see some sunshine tomorrow, but the cloud cover does increase as we work through that noon hour. We are likely going to stay dry until about 3-4 o'clock tomorrow. Leading edge of that snowfall, as it will initially start out, is going to work in from the south and from the west. This will move in as we get closer to sunset tomorrow afternoon. This will continue to expand and actually become heavy at times as we go through the evening. In fact, that time from about 7, 8, 9 o'clock, we could have some heavy snow coming down with higher snowfall rates, which would drop that visibility and allow that snow to quickly accumulate on the roads. Our temperatures during this time going to be below freezing. Now, this is where it gets a little on the tricky side. We've got some warmer air that starts to move in. This likely takes place after about 10, 11, 12 o'clock tomorrow night. So a brief window of some sleet, but freezing rain. Now, Futurecast keeps us a little far to the south. I think we could bring that freezing rain up to about Highway 20 as we go through the overnight Wednesday. Then our temperatures will begin to warm even further by about 7, 8 o'clock Wednesday morning. And then we get that transition over to rain before coming to an end Wednesday afternoon. And then we could do it all over again going into New Year's Day. So let's talk snow potential. Now, again, the impact of this is going to be the greatest, but I think our 4 to 8 inch potential here kind of lining up where you see that blue outline. So that does include us in Belvedere, in Rockford, Freeport, and could even see higher amounts a little bit further off to the west. You get a little less than that as temperatures warm once you get down towards Paw Paw and Amboy. That ice potential is there, but I don't think it's going to be significant. Right around 1/10 of an inch or so. There could be some locally higher amounts. So that is, when it comes down on top of the snow, going to cause some problems there as we get into the overnight. So here we go. The impacts will start to pick up about 6 o'clock tomorrow evening. That is going to continue through the overnight through about 6 a.m. Wednesday, and then we should see those impacts lessen just a bit. Clear skies for us this evening. A live look with our Mercial SkyTrack camera now out in the Park Hills Golf Course. Temperatures here as we go through the night tonight will drop down to about 13 degrees. So it is going to be a colder start tomorrow, up to 30 tomorrow afternoon. Notice we don't fall too much Tuesday night. Temperatures will drop off quite a bit, Mimi, as we head into Thursday.
Sounds messy. Thanks, Candice. Scott's in next to talk sports. He'll have some early thoughts on this Sunday's Packers-Bears game and why it's the game that could alter the course of the Bears' future.
Now, the Napleton Sports Desk with Sports Director Scott Leber.
When the NFL schedule came out for this season and we saw that the Bears and Packers would meet on the final week, we all had hoped that there would be a lot on the line. Well, there certainly will be on Sunday at Soldier Field. The Packers will be playing to nail down the top seed in the NFC. The Bears will be playing for their playoff lives. Yeah, they could still slip in if the Cardinals lose their game to the Rams, but why risk that? Plus, a win over the Packers would be more convincing that what we've seen from the Bears the last few weeks is real and not a mirage. If the Bears win this game, Matt Nagy and Ryan Pace could save their jobs. Mitch Trubisky could be brought back. If the Bears lose, well, they could all be gone. This will be a prove-it game for Trubisky, a game that could help him nail down a contract for next season, either with the Bears or some other team. If he performs with the pressure on against a solid Packers defense, that will legitimize what he's achieved the last 4 weeks. Yeah, he hasn't faced any good defenses, but with the Bears, he's been at the controls of an offense that scored 30 or more points in 4 straight games. If that happens again this Sunday, we'll all look at Trubisky differently. As if it wasn't already hard enough to defend the Packers, now they have yet another major weapon. Rookie running back A.J. Dillon looked like the real deal last night. He took to the snow and cold weather just like the Packers hoped he would. He rushed for 124 yards and 2 touchdowns. He averaged almost 6 yards per carry. Packers fans weren't happy when the Packers used a second-round draft pick on him in April. I've got a feeling they'll be rejoicing over that selection from this time forward for several seasons. Of all the great power backs the Packers have had over the years, this guy has the physical gifts to turn out to be the best. The Packers-Bears game has been moved to a 3:25 start, by the way, and you can see it on Fox 39. We'll be right back.
First Warn Interactive Radar brought to us by Rockford Auto Glass and more. That's going to become very useful here, especially for tomorrow. So we've got some snow, sleet and freezing rain moving in. Once again, winter storm warnings and winter weather advisories going into effect for tomorrow afternoon, going in through Wednesday morning. As we've got snow that'll start off tomorrow late afternoon and evening, could become heavy through the evening commute with that transition over to some sleet and freezing rain overnight before we see rain on Wednesday. Maybe we could do it all over again then for Friday morning.
All right, thanks Candice. And tonight we leave you with a clip from our Sounds of the Holidays Best of series from 2015. Here's the Belvedere North Choir. Have a good night.
Michael,